I am feeling very generous. This is my second live stream for today. I told you 2025, I am just going to be spreading the wealth. And by wealth, I mean information. Knowledge is power, ladies. So make sure you stick around and listen to today's video. The topic is Unlock Your Power, 3 dating tips for women. Let me go ahead and pin this comment here. Women, we have so much power, and as I started on this journey years ago, I was so confused by men's behavior. It inspired me to start a separate Facebook page away from my friends and family and just ask the good strangers of social media, why the hell? Why the hell you do this? Why the hell you do that? Why do men just ghost? Every question women have asked me, I have at some point been asking. I never started out to be a dating coach. I was a chick who wanted answers. I was like, make it make sense. And so now I am so far along in the process. I feel satisfied. I told the guys on my private page, I said, I don't even know what to ask you guys anymore because I feel like I have most of the answers that I need to either be able to help me in my situation or teach other women. And ladies, I got your back. I'm here. Comment yes if you want me to spill the tea and to continue to be very generous. Okay, last year, admittedly, I was very stingy and I was like, I'm going to keep all the information to the students in my course. But I'm like, you know what? Share the wealth. Abundance mindset. I'm going to give you guys the more tea. So drop a yes, drop a tea comment emoji. And if you want me to continue to spill the beans, just posted another video on YouTube today. And I'm going to be posting this one as well. Okay. So the 3 tips that I'm going to give you for unleashing your power. The reason why I want you to understand this concept before I begin is because as women, we have drastically lost a lot of power, okay? Now, of course, you could say back in the day, women didn't have power to vote and they didn't have the ability to get, certain jobs or whatever. Like, yes, there are some things that we have advanced as women. Where we have not advanced is in being able to get the results we want with men. So we have gotten very advanced when it comes to getting educated. There are way more women who get college degrees, if the stats that I remember are correct. There are way more women who oftentimes have emotional intelligence. There are a lot of things that we have done advancements, right? Women have houses on their own now and they are buying cars on their own and they don't need a man financially. But we are so behind when it comes to our intelligence about men and the way they operate. And the more you understand men and how they operate, the more you can get what you want. Now, I don't mean this in a sense of using a man and just, taking him for what he's worth. What I'm talking about, what I'm teaching you how to do, you're actually going to make men happy. It would be like me saying, guys, I'm going to give you the cheat code. You want to be consistent. You want to get muscular. You want to have emotional intelligence, right? Like I gave them the cheat code to be a woman's dream man, but these are not things that are meant to manipulate a woman and hurt her. They're meant to be, oh my God, you're going to turn into her dream man, okay? So in the same way, I want to teach women how to be a man's dream woman, and he is going to be clamoring for commitment. He is going to be breaking down your door, metaphorically speaking, okay? Trying to put a ring on it, all right? So stick with me, and there are 2 things. I'm going to give you the cheat code. I'm not going to pander to you. I'm not going to tell you things that just make you feel so good. I'm going to tell you the real stuff. So that's why I say you got to put your BGPs on, your big girl panties, because it's not always easy, but I'm giving you the real stuff that is going to be life-changing and relationship-changing. So if you can get past the discomfort of some of the stuff, you are going to have the bag, the wealth, the knowledge that you need to be able to get an adjustment, okay? To make the changes in your relationship. All right, so the first thing that I want you to understand is confidence is everything. And a lot of times you're not confident because you don't understand a lot of the things I'm going to teach you today. And of course, that I go into crazy depth in my course. But the first thing is that we set the bar, ladies. Okay, so you might have heard the phrase that men control marriages. Well, women control sex, and if we could say dating. So men want to have sex with you. Let's just be honest. Let's be direct, okay? And every woman has a price. And you might be going, oh my God, I don't sell myself. I'm not for the streets. Honey, everyone has a price. This might be your price. A chicken dinner might be your price. A year's commitment might be your price. Everybody has a price, okay? Unless a man is physically forcing you to do something against your will, you have a price in your mind, meaning there is something that you are requiring a man to do before you're willing to give him your cookies, okay? You following me here? So if you don't have that in mind, what that is, you are going to just give your cookies to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that pays attention to you. The women who follow my page, we have confidence, we have self-respect, we have standards. We know what we are willing to do and not do with men. And if a guy says, I am not willing to do that, your standard is too high for me, we don't cry about it. We don't beg and say, well, I'll adjust my standards. You let the guy remove himself. Or if you notice it first, you remove him from your life. The problem is too many women think they have a standard, and when the man doesn't fit the standard, she adjusts the standard, or she goes back and starts to chase him and says, well, you're losing your power. You have to understand that it is about quality, not quantity. I went 8 years without a man to call my boyfriend. I did not go on dates. I literally had initial conversations that fizzled out, initial conversations that fizzled out, initial conversations that fizzled out. Why? Because the standard that I have eliminated a lot of guys. Was it scary? Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. It's a little scary because you don't have a crystal ball. You don't know that in 8 years you're gonna meet your person. However, what I didn't have to deal with was a lot of bodies that I regretted, a lot of wasted time. I was able to use that time productively, building my brand, doing all these things, being a mother, what have you. Okay, for those of you who don't know, I'm divorced. So I would rather you take your time investing in yourself, becoming the best version of yourself, enjoying hobbies and things like that, than sitting around and giving someone the best years of your life who doesn't fit your standards. Okay? Now, men, before you say what I know you want to say, hold on. There's 3 parts to this advice, okay? But you need to be confident in yourself and who you are, and you need to have standards, and you need to hold yourself to standards. The other thing that you need to know about this is that when I say all men want to sleep with you, right? The ones that are attracted to you, stop being flattered by sexual attention. I use this example of car accidents. If attention was powerful, if attention mattered, well, let me explain the story first. Let's say you're in the car and you're driving along and you see this really bad accident. And let's say you're in the passenger seat so you can really rubberneck and you are looking, whoa, oh gosh, that looks bad. Hope they're doing okay. We gave attention, but at the end of the day, does it benefit the person in the accident? No. All they can say is, a lot of people paid me attention. Wow. Doesn't pay your bills, doesn't get you to the hospital, doesn't provide comfort, bedside manner when you're stressed out, isn't helping you to get a new car. It's just attention. And if you can understand men giving you attention is the same thing, you won't value it as much. Not until he starts to do something. So I don't care about attention in and of itself. If I'm in that car in distress, I only care about the person who takes the attention and then says, I'm actually motivated to pull over and see if this person needs assistance. I'm going to see if they have a phone to call for help. I'm going to see if they need help, getting out of danger, cars hitting them or whatever. Or I have medical background and I can help them until the paramedics come. That's the only time that should start to matter, okay? To use that comparison. You picking up what I'm putting down here? So don't be so flattered by attention. If you are a beautiful woman, if you are attractive, you should not be shocked when you get attention, okay? You can say thank you, but don't be shocked and don't be flattered by it, all right? That's like a guy saying a woman who was impressed because he has a lot of money. Okay, that's impressive. Doesn't mean that we're going to be in a relationship with you, okay? The other thing is that a lot of women are in this period of their life, especially the ones that are hopeless romantics and really want to be in a relationship. They are looking at their lives as this is the before. So their pivotal moment is meeting the guy, and we're living in the before. I meet the guy, and then there's the after, the happily ever after, right? After what? After meeting the guy, after getting a commitment or marriage from the guy, happily ever after. Too many women are living in a mindset of this is the before. And if you can look at your life and say, what would I want it to look like after? You will take away a lot of expectations that are unnecessary, which put a burden on a man. If your life is dull and boring and not exciting at all, it's not fulfilling, it is not going to suddenly become exciting because there's a man in it. That just means there's a man in it. Yes, there's going to be the initial excitement of a relationship because it's the newness and that's all fun and butterflies. But ultimately, he's going to go to work. He's going to continue on his hobbies. He's going to continue with his passions. And if he is your life, your hobby, and your passion, especially if you want to be a homemaker and you're not going to have an outside of the house job to distract you, you are going to continue to be miserable and he is going to feel like it is an unnecessary burden. Okay? So you should be right now in your singleness, working on building your confidence and having a life that is fulfilling, that you love. Okay? Do not look for a man to rescue you. And you have to be honest with yourself and say, is this the case? A lot of women are not okay being single. And a lot of it is because their life isn't fulfilling. And so I get so many clients who say, I know this guy isn't a good match for me. However, the alternative is being single. What you don't realize is when you are entertaining a man who does not fit your standards, he is not aligned with what you are looking for, you are clouding your ability to be open to someone else. You might not realize you're kind of holding out on this person. You're spending energy and time with this person that you could have been making other decisions. You guys heard about the butterfly effect? Maybe instead of sitting at home talking to him or knocking boots with him over the weekend, you actually went out with your friend and went to a festival and you could have met somebody there. Or you could have discovered a hobby that really fascinated you. You don't realize how one little action can change the trajectory of your life. So stop giving men who are not your person time. Don't let him keep orbiting your planet. Okay? Gotta move on. The other thing is when you are confident and you understand the dynamics of masculine and feminine, my page is for feminine women who want a masculine man, you will not chase. If a man gives you any indication that he is not interested or that he needs prodding and pushing, this will set off major alarm bells in your head and you will fall back. You will not want to deal with any man who does not continuously show interest. You will not deal with a man who is not consistent. You will not deal with a man who does not steadily apply pressure. Your interaction should always grow. It should not be, oh, it's really cool. Whoa, it's dropped. What's happening? I'm so confused. It should not be this up and down, up and down, up and down. You should know exactly where he stands. You should know that he is interested until there's a point where he might say, I'm no longer interested, or he falls off. Okay? But we do not chase after a guy. Oh my God, he stopped calling me so much. He hasn't asked me out in 3 weeks. If he does not show you signs that he is choosing you, you need to be excusing yourself. Okay? We don't stay where we are not cherished and adored. And of course, cherished and adored comes over time. But at the very beginning, he should at least have enough interest to be continuing to get to know you. Now, I am giving you a lot of general information because I'm trying to unpack a lot of stuff in a short bit of time. But if you are interested in the specifics, what does that look like? What is the guy going to do? How is he going to show up? How often is he going to contact me? How often is he going to want to see me? I give all that game in my course. It's called the Dating Manual and it's linked in my bio. But back to our regularly scheduled program. Number 2, the way that you can unlock your power, this is the second tip for women and dating, is you have to level up. So earlier I said, men, don't say what I know you want to say. I'm talking about your standards and baby, he better measure up and he better. Oh, there's another side of that coin. Okay? If you want to have a 10, you want to attract a 10, you got to be a 10. Okay? Now, if you are a 5, 6, okay, because there is a sexual marketplace value. Let's just be honest, right? If you're a 5 or a 6, you could either settle for a 5 or a 6. Or if you decide, I really want a 10, well, then you need to figure out what do 10s require, okay? It's like going to college. I could go to a community college and get a perfectly fine education. I'm still getting my bachelor's degree. Or I can go to the top of the top and go to Ivy League school. But guess what? It's going to be a different GPA that they need. It's going to need different prerequisites. They're going to need different letters of recommendation. They're going to need different volunteer programs that you've been in, extracurriculars. Okay? There's going to be a higher tuition. So depending on the type of man you want, you, honey, are going to have to make some changes. Now, am I on a high horse saying I'm at a 10, I've arrived? Absolutely not. But over the past couple of years, I have done some major work. The reason why my relationship fell apart, a big part of why my marriage fell apart, is because of me. I didn't have a lot of emotional control. I had almost no self-awareness. I was very mature, but I did not have a lot of self-awareness. I was extremely defensive. I had a lot of trauma that I didn't realize. And I was lazy as sin, okay? So I don't think that the me of back then would ever be able to pull the man who I have now. And we've even talked about it. He's like, I definitely would not have wanted you back then. And he's talked about the growth that he's had. I wouldn't have wanted him back then. So depending on where you are, or what you want rather, you're going to have to do the work. It's going to be obvious. It's not enough to be a pretty face and have a big old thing, big old round thing. What is it? The round thing in your face? A skinny waist and a round thing in his face. All right, he might be sprung for the night, but is he going to be sprung for life and want to put a ring on it? I doubt it. So number 2 is level up. And here's the thing. You don't get to make the ruler. You don't get to say, this is a 10 woman. You don't get to say, I'm great because of this. You have to ask men, what do you think is great? You have to ask men, what do you prioritize? What makes you want to commit? And then be that. Too many women are deciding what makes them think that they are a good catch. And I'll give an example that I use a lot. A lot of women think that they are unburdening a man or making a man feel like she's not using him for his money if she announces that she is self-sufficient financially. Oh, you don't have to worry about me. I get a lot of money. I have a high income. I already have properties. My car is paid off. And they are listing these things as though the man's going to go, oh, wow, what a catch. That's so great. I don't have to take care of her. The example that I give that I think will resonate with you is, imagine you are a first-time mom and you are so excited about your brand new baby, and somebody takes the baby and says, don't worry, I'm going to feed them, change all their diapers, decorate the nursery, and take them on walks and put them down for their nap, and I'm going to burp them, and I'm going to take all their pictures for them, and I'm going to take them to school. You'd be like, I kind of liked that. Like, I wanted to be instrumental in the, right? Even though it's work, it's still something that makes your heart swell and you take pride in it. And you do it for the ones that you love and you care for. So if somebody came in saying, I'm going to take all those things from you, you wouldn't see it as a positive. Be like, yeah. You'd be like, I want other things. You can help do the laundry. You can help wash the dishes. You can wash my hair when I want to take a break. But yeah, I want to be able to bond with my baby and hold him and sing nursery rhymes and pick out the color for the nursery, right? So it's important that you understand what it is that men value and then be that. This isn't about being fake. It's just understanding the rules of life, just like men need to understand the rules of life. If we have a choice between a really skinny, scrawny guy who's a scaredy cat and a big, muscular man who is fearless, or at least presents that way, we're picking the fearless guy every time. It's not about him being fake. It's about just understanding the laws of attraction when it comes to the opposite sex. Masculine wants feminine, feminine wants masculine, etc. Okay? You have to be able to, in leveling up, you have to be able to appeal to a man's emotions. You have to be able to connect with a man emotionally. And a lot of times women are so worried about spending too much time with the guy who's not the right guy and then getting attached emotionally that she rushes the process. And by rushing the process, you fail to adhere emotionally. It's like glue and you didn't give it time to dry. There is a process that happens organically. It should be organic. When you meet a man, where he starts to become interested in you and intrigued and learn a little bit about you and want to know more and develop this appetite for your company versus sitting across from a potential employer with a checklist. Do you smoke? Do you want kids? Do you want marriage? How soon do you want marriage? Like, that is not a way to connect. So women are doing this because they're going, if I spend a lot of time because I don't have emotional self-control, I will get attached and this guy could be the wrong guy. And so I'm just going to try to speed up the process. And in speeding up the process, they don't let the glue dry. And therefore the man doesn't get emotionally attached. So then after a while he backs away. And then she says, see, all men are afraid of commitment. Okay. Is this making sense, ladies? Okay. I know these type of videos aren't going to be super entertaining because I'm not bashing men and saying how men suck and how the standards are in hell, the bar is so low, and men are just this and men are just that. I'm going to be honest with you and tell you the things that are in your power to do. And if you understand these things, you are going to have different experiences with men. And while your girlfriends are complaining and saying, men just suck and men this, you be like, that's not my testimony. Men don't commit. Do they? They do. Oh. Okay? So I'm trying to teach y'all. And if you're generous, you'll share this with your girlfriend so y'all can all be together, okay? Don't be stingy with the information. I told you 2025, I'm going to stop being so stingy. So you guys also need to not be stingy. And so however many people like this video should also be sharing this video, but that's not my business. Let me get back to the point. Okay, we're still on number 2, level up. Here's what you have to do. You have to be aware that first impressions matter. And there are so many people on social media who say all this stuff about how it should be, how it should be, how it should be. Men shouldn't judge. Men shouldn't judge. Men should see this and they should think this and they should. That is not reality. We don't live in political correct land. Like socially, we're supposed to be politically correct, but internally, the way we're wired, we're not politically correct. We like what we like and we don't like what we don't like. And so he might not say it to you, but he's thinking it. Just like we might not say it to him, but we're thinking it. He might be a great guy, but you find out he's living in his mom's basement and he's only making $12.75 an hour. You're going, that's not enough to survive on. And so if we were to get married, that's really scary and I don't want that lifestyle, right? That's what you're actually thinking. But somebody could come on and say, that's shallow. Are you a gold digger? You only care about his money? What about his heart? What about his abilities in this area and this area and this area? But the reality is you want what you want and you like what you like. And what makes her tingle is what makes her tingle. It just is what it is. This is why I say I have the BGP tribe, the big girl panty tribe. We don't focus on how we feel about the rules. We just learn the rules. And then we take the rules and we work it in our favor. Okay? All right, let's get back to it. How you present yourself matters. Men look at you if he finds you attractive. If, conditional, if he finds you attractive, he immediately puts you in one of 2 categories. She looks like she'd be a good time, or as my buddy SD says, she'd make good mattress food. Or, this is someone I'd actually like to get to know. I want to know what kind of woman she is. What her thoughts are, what her interests are, what her goals are in life. There's potential there. I want to see. He's going to put you in one of those 2 categories, and you don't often get a second chance to make a first impression. So err on the side of caution. I hear all the excuses. Well, I was at the beach. Well, this was because of this. And I was at the carnival. And everybody twerks there. And this is why I posted that. And I don't care because it doesn't matter. First impressions matter. Okay? It's just like if you are worried about a job looking at your page, they're not going to want you to explain that, well, I was in Jamaica and we were all smoking weed because You know there are certain things that are going to look unprofessional and that maybe give the company a bad rap. Well, it's the same thing with men. There are certain things that he looks at and goes, she's for the streets. You might be a good church girl, God-fearing, and you stay at home every night and you're in bed by 9. But the impression is what matters. So learn that stuff. Learn what gives the impression. Just like he could be an amazing man who believes in God and has a 401k, but if he's walking around with his pants sagging around his waist and he's walking like he's got the limp and he's doing, I was gonna say, a certain kind of walk, you might think, maybe he does those sort of activities. Okay? It's all about how you present yourself. He's got the Cadillac with the, the hydraulics and all that. Okay? Might give you a different impression. But are you going to take the time to get to know him and know that that's not his story? Probably not. You'll be like, man, if this don't get that Ray Ray and Buki out of my face. All right? So understand there are consequences for the choices that we've made, even if we don't like it. Okay, now I got to whisper this part because it's going to hurt some feelings. Men value purity. So if you have indications that you've been with a lot of men, that makes them uncomfortable, okay? Don't unsubscribe because I told you this. But it makes them uncomfortable. And so if they're aware that you've had a lot of experience, it could be a turn off. And if, I'm not saying you're not dateable and there isn't someone for you, but there are some men who don't want to raise another man's child because there are a lot of things that women do, i.e., you're not my baby's daddy, you can't tell me nothing, they can't discipline, or the man is still in their life. There's a lot of stuff that comes with it. It's not because they're just judgy. They just don't want to deal with it, okay? Okay, now can we go back? But don't tell anybody I said that. Okay, so there are consequences that you make, and you have to understand that this isn't about making you feel good. Sometimes it's the reality. I am nosy. I want to know everything. I'm that girl who, if I could put my little ear to the wall, I want to hear everything. Don't tell me what you think I want to hear. I want to know the truth. So I want to know what the likelihood of being a divorced mom in my 30s with 2 kids, what's the reality? Cool. Now I know the reality, I can lower my expectations. Thank you, Spree. I can understand I'm not going to be seen as a 10 for everyone. If I'm not snatched in my waist, I'm not going to be a 10 for everyone. Does that mean my life is over? Oh my God, I should just leave and everyone's evil? No, I adjust my expectations accordingly. And if I want the pool of men to grow, I can make certain adjustments on my part. Now, of course, with kids and stuff like that, I can't, but I can adjust my expectations. All right. Maybe I date men only who have kids or men who have already been married or whatever. But you have to stop looking at yourself like a victim, and those who don't have kids, those who haven't gone through marriages or failed marriages, or those who don't have a high body count, understand your decisions matter. Okay. Videos that you shoot matter. Things that get recorded matter. Digital receipts, printed receipts matter. Okay. Men talk. They talk. They have a whole network. They say we gossip. Men talk. They be like, oh, you dating so-so? Oh, she's fun. Whoa, right? That's a real thing. So be careful how you move, and all this crap talk about, oh, city girl and have fun in your... They telling you lies that are going to get you caught up later. Don't get it twisted. There are repercussions for decisions that you make today. Okay, you will pay tomorrow. All right, so the next thing is, excuse me, talking about leveling up. She said you a little risky. Right, you should, girl. You got to level up. You have to understand that, actually, no, I'm going to put this in with my third point, all right? So we're at the third point. The first one that I gave you is be confident and have standards. By the way, y'all, I'm reposting this on YouTube when I'm done, so if you missed the beginning or the middle or the end, don't worry, you can watch on YouTube. Excuse me. But number one, level up. Number one, be confident and have standards. These are 3 dating tips for women if you want to unlock your power. Number 2, level up. We just finished that. And then the third one, understand men and adjust. Y'all, you know I got to have my notes because I will go on a tangent. Okay. So number 3, understand men and adjust. Part of understanding men is that you have to understand that some guys just want to sleep with you and some men are going to actually see a future with you, right? So you do all the things that you can do. Now, no matter what you've done, if you do everything perfectly, you are still going to have some men who only want to sleep with you. And that is because, for the same reason that flies land on food, right? It's like you can't control what the flies are going to do. It's just, it is what it is. What you can do, though, is put a cover over your food if you're having a picnic outside, or stop eating outside, doggone it. Or spray some bug spray or put some repellent. We still have control and we have a responsibility to exercise that control. We are not victims. Say it with me. We are not victims. We learn the rules of the game and we work it in our favor, okay? So learn the rules, learn the red flags. They are ginormous, massive billboard-sized red flags. Once you know what they are, of course, again, I go into detail in my course what those are. You can spot it a mile away. It becomes almost laughable, like, oh, boo-boo, you thought you won't pull the wool over my... And because you're confident, you walk away knowing this was the right decision. Not, do I have to phone a friend? Girl, it's like, did I move prematurely? Did I cut him off too soon? Did I... No, you were like, girl, you tried it. And y'all can cackle and kiki over your glass of wine. Thank you, Peace, Chicago Dream. You are confident and you know that you know that you know, because Sister Yonci, Auntie Yonci, she gave me the game. She gave me the cheat code. And I'm not going to get caught up. He's not going to play in my face. Not what I can see. Okay? So we have to understand that we need to learn the red flags and walk away. A man who is serious about you is not going to be pressed for sex. He's not going to bring up sex. He is not going to try to nudge you towards sex. And I'm going to show you the statistics. I've interviewed men at nauseum about this, and I'm going to tell you exactly what they said they do. They don't play with that. They are about trying to engage and build an emotional connection, and they're like, that's going to come down the road. So come on. You got to learn this stuff, okay? Where am I? Once you realize this guy has all these red flags, oh, no, catches things. I keep coughing. Once you see the red flags, it's your job to move around. Don't stick around. You got to move around. And here's the thing, okay? Men log off. Like, oh, look, it's a football game. Or what sport are we in? Basketball. There is a Okay, ladies, come here. It's another one. Don't tell anybody. We set the bar. And we determine what men do. Because remember at the beginning of the video, I told you that they all want the cookie. They all are motivated by the cookie. Whether the cookie comes after marriage or after a commitment or after 14 dates, whatever, right? We have the bar. It's like the cost of living. We can control it. So if we just give cookies away for free, the market value, there's no market value. They have to work to get it. So if we work together and we have standards and we say it's not enough that you bought me a chicken dinner, even if it came with a waffle. If men know they can't just buy you a waffle dinner, a chicken dinner. Roscoe's is pretty good though, but that's besides the point. If women collectively understood their worth, then men wouldn't be able to do the minimum and still get you. Okay? They wouldn't be out here making babies and all that stuff because we control the wounds. Okay? The wombs, not wound. Okay? All right. So now I don't know if the men are listening. I hope they're not. But ladies, we're going to get back to what we were talking about, okay? We have to raise the bar, which means we have to have emotional self-control. We have to be able to wait. Even though we're feeling all our feelings and we're drunk on love emotions, we have to still be able to think clearly and say, he has not met my standards, or it has not been enough time, or whatever. We have choices. We have responsibility, okay? The onus is on us to do all this stuff with the iPhones. I'm gonna need you to not try to interpret my signals, okay? I'm gonna see. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, and whenever I do it, it never works. So it's like when I'm not trying to do it, it does all those things. I don't know why. Anyway, got me all distracted. So we have to understand this choosing signals. We have to understand what men like. It doesn't matter if you vet all the guys out, right? You filter, you filter, you filter, you filter, you cut. If you don't make the cut for the other side. So half the battle is vetting, understanding what you will not accept. Well, once you've cleared all those out, you actually have to be attractive to the candidates who are left, if there are any, okay? So you have to understand what men want. And I will give you 3 things, okay? I'm feeling a little generous. I told you I'm feeling generous in 2025, abundance mindset. I'm gonna give y'all all the tea and you're still gonna take my course, okay? So 3 things you can do to be more attractive. Be feminine. Think about this. I always say this in my dating discovery call. If I had a man and I said, look, he's everything you want. I know what you've asked for. He checks all the boxes. He is fabulous. He is well off. He's hung like a horse. He has a great relationship with his family. He loves God. He's a pillar in his community, really active in his nieces and nephews' lives. He's well-spoken. He knows multiple languages. He is a generous lover. And I just go on and on and on, right? I said, but there's just one little catch. He was raised around women. He's totally heterosexual. He's totally heterosexual. There's no confusion. He's never dabbled, never dibbled, but he's just effeminate. He was raised around women. Would you want him? All that stuff I just mentioned, women say, no. That's not mine. Nope. I'm not picking him. Why? Because masculine energy is so powerful. This is why it's so important for women to understand the power of feminine energy and not downplay it. Well, I'll be feminine once he, well, if this, I'll be. What if a guy were to say, well, I'll become masculine when? Men want feminine energy from the very beginning, okay? That doesn't mean giving anything away, right? He's not providing you security and all this stuff. But you got to be feminine from the onset, okay? And femininity starts from within, which we talk about in my course. I got a discovery call in just a few minutes, so let me wrap this up. The other thing you want to do is you want to reciprocate. No men love hunting and they're fine with hunting, but they want to know they're barking up the right tree. They want to know that, okay, I'm trying to land this plane, but I don't see anyone on the ground saying this is safe to land. As a woman, you got to use those little orange batons and say, it's safe to land the plane here. Safe to land the plane here. And they will continue to give their energy. They'll give. But every now and then you got to pop out and go, on the right track. And then he's going to chase. Well, they hate the word chase. Pursue. And then every now and then you pop out and you go, you're on the right track. Pat him on the head. Good job. Keep going. And they'll keep going. Okay. So number 2, you got to reciprocate. And 3, my God, let them take the lead. Please. Let them take the lead. And here's the thing. Not only does it make them enjoy it more because they don't feel like a noose is around their neck and they're being pressured and there's a gun to their head, but the other thing is that it will eliminate the men who aren't about it. If you are constantly helping him, you want to go on a date, but you're inviting him out, you're picking the place, you're picking up the bill. I'm being exaggerating, right? Like you're driving and picking him up. Do you really know if he likes you? Like pump the brakes. Let him take the lead. Let him do the work. And what happens is men don't feel pressured. And guess what pressure does? It kills chemistry. No one wants to be in a situation where they feel like she has expectations. She expects him to do this, expects him to do that. You've talked to me and you locked eyes with me. We go together. And you might think that sounds silly, but that legitimately is how most women date. You talk to me, you got my phone number, we go together. Okay? Don't let us talk every day. We go together. You have to relax and actually see if he is taking the lead. My favorite thing to say is men have the gas pedal and we have the brake pedal. He should be always applying the gas. He should always be moving things along. You can always slow things down. You could stop. You could exit the vehicle. But you should never try to climb into the driver's seat and push the gas. Your job is to just observe. Make sure you're comfortable at the speed it's going. If it's not going fast enough, you can get out the car. If it is going too fast, you can pump the brakes. Okay? Okay, so I want to quickly answer this, but I don't want to lose your questions. If you want to double down and make sure I don't miss it, put your question in the queue, push the little plus sign, because I want to give these last 2 or 3 points, and I don't want to forget your question, okay? But I have a few moments before my discovery call. She said we go together real bad, right? Okay, so let him take the lead. Those are the 3 things. Here's the other thing, and this is huge, huge, huge. I should probably make this one a reel and cut this out, so don't forget, future Yonci. Men are less in a hurry to commit, and I had an epiphany as to why, because I've always known this. The reason they are in less of a hurry to commit is because for women, relationships mean security. We have a man who is going to be showing up, paying the bills. We have someone who's going to protect us physically. We have an emotional support animal who's going to be there for us. And now we have someone we could just relax into our feminine energy, right? If you could see energy, our energy would be like this. That's where we want to be. For a man, a relationship means responsibility. Same example of a mother with a child. When you choose to have a child, you don't make that decision lightly unless it happens on accident. You're like, ooh, you count the cost, what it's going to be. Now, are there benefits? Absolutely. Are there moments of pleasure? Absolutely. Does the pleasure, outweigh this responsibility? Most likely, absolutely, right? But it's a responsibility. So you're going to be very careful and cautious to not make that move until you're absolutely ready. So this scenario is a little different because it's not like the kid is going, pick me, because they're not even in existence yet, right? But if there was an opportunity, let's just say for a kid to be adopted, maybe, that's a good comparison. They're just seeing the positives. I can get out of this foster home. I can finally have a stable life. I know I have hot meals coming. This family loves me. They're sticking around. Like, there's all these benefits. But for the parent, it's like, this is a calculated risk. So when you understand this is why it's so important to understand men and understand their perspective, because you can move accordingly and make things work in your favor. Okay? So understand that for men, it means responsibility. For women, it means security. And when I polled the men on my men's page, if you're a patron, you would already know this because I already shared the tea with you as I do every single day, Monday through Friday. But for the others of you who haven't subscribed yet, you will be surprised to know that men said on average, it took them 6.5 years, okay, años, if you speak Spanish, 6.5 años, to meet a woman that they even could imagine being their girlfriend. Let that sink in. There was brain matter all over the wall when I discovered that. Makes perfect sense. They are making sure that they're aligned and ready and have all their ducks in a row and affairs in order. But finding someone that completely is lined up with them, it doesn't happen often. Okay? And if you're honest with yourself about the men that you messed with, a lot of them weren't qualified either. You were just with him because he was tall and muscular and real sexy and he talked real smooth and his beard connected and he had side teeth and he had subject verb agreement. Just saying. And he smelled good. But if we honestly waited until the person was on the same page with us, we both wanted a relationship. We both wanted kids. We both agreed, he would do 80% of the bills and I do 20. We both agreed on faith. Do you know how long it takes to actually meet someone? It took me 8 years, okay? As women, we just get excited and, there's a spark. There's chemistry. Okay, well, you can meet 20 men a month you have chemistry with because he was bow-legged, she said. We count all the people we had chemistry with. Men are like, chemistry is a dime a dozen. I mean, could I actually see her as the mother of my children? and they're not pressed because they're getting the stuff that makes them feel good in the moment, because the women don't understand their power. See, start at the beginning of this video, right? Okay. So understand that for men. So when you're going into it, you're not going into it like there's a high probability that I'm gonna be his girl because we locked eyes and we talked and I felt a little tingle down there. Now you're gonna be like, man, on average it takes men 6.5 years to meet a woman, and I gotta do all these things to make sure I'm da-da-da-da-da, and I understand men, and I blah, 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 blah. And now you have much more realistic expectations. You're not pressed. Now your energy is very inviting as opposed to pushy and needy and It's just, do you see how this all goes together? Like, I'm tying all these pieces together. The other thing is that when men date, the reason why they don't commit like out the gate, when men meet a woman, that meeting point in their mind is not, this is the start of our journey. Like, all they know is you have a big booty and pretty cheekbones. That's it, okay? That's the dating point. You met on Tuesday. He just knows you have a big booty and pretty cheekbones. She smells good. This is not the start of your together. You're forever. He's not writing in a journal, "Dear diary, on Tuesday, February 13th, I just met this woman I knew." Like, yes, some people feel like they have love at first sight, but the majority of men, it's not. All he's done is entered the discovery phase. Okay? Put DP if you've heard me talk about this, because I've been teaching y'all all year. He's entered the discovery phase. What's the discovery phase? It's a period of time in which he discovers whether or not you're compatible with him. That's it. You just enter this hallway. You just both enter this hallway, and when you get to the end of the hallway, you've discovered what you need to discover, and you either go off into the sunset together, or you go your separate ways. So sometimes men go down the hallway, they get to the end, and they say, "Thank you, ma'am. Good day, sir." And that's it. And then you think, "Oh my God, this guy is terrible. He wasted my time." No, ma'am. He just got to the end of the discovery phase. It takes time to discover what you need to discover if you're going on more than just chemistry. Makes sense. Some men get to the end of the discovery phase and they're like, "Ooh, I don't like what I see," but they don't want to be a bad guy, because when they actually use their big boy words and explain this, the women flip out and they don't like being the bad guy, and they're conflict avoidant, and they don't feel good, and so they slowly start to fade to black and just hope that he can get away without too much drama. But then here you come, no, come back. And you start messaging him and sending him text messages. "Tyrone, I feel like you're pulling away. I haven't talked to you in 3 days. And I noticed that you keep looking at my story on Instagram, but you haven't called me to cupcake." And then you book a coaching session with me. And I'm like, "Girl, you better leave him alone. He was trying to ghost you and you won't let him go. Let that man go. You only want a man around who cherishes you and adores you and has his nose wide open and is pressed to be with you. Let him go. Let him go. Release him. Release him like the doves." Okay? So you have to understand that when you meet the guy, it's just the start of the discovery phase. At a certain point, he goes, "Bing! This is someone I want to date. This is someone I want as my girlfriend." And he will say, "Will you be my girlfriend?" Or he won't. The beautiful thing is that it's never unclear. He will say, "I want you to be my girlfriend." So if you don't hear that, you're not his, say it with me, girlfriend. If he hasn't asked you to be his girlfriend with his big boy words, you're not his girlfriend. You're someone who is going through the discovery phase. You guys are getting this, right? We're going to change the world one live stream at a time. You better not be stingy. You better share this with all your single friends. Okay? I'm giving you a cheat code. Okay? I'm giving you outlines. We go into depth on my coaching call, on my discovery program. Discovery. My dating manual. We talk about the stuff we can't talk about in front of the bullies. Okay? Thank you for the reminder, because I'm almost out of time. Men have a discovery phase. Let's see. Sometimes they get to know things about you during that time that they don't like about you. It's not because they're evil and they just fall off. They just They were like, we're not aligned. And also, you need to believe men when they tell you that they don't want a relationship. If someone says, I'm just kind of seeing how it goes, I'm just, I'm not really looking for anything serious, anything of that nature, goodbye. You're not aligned. Goodbye. You're not aligned. And if you are not a professional, you don't have the emotional ability to walk away. So you might think, well, at least he's somebody who is in my, he's rotating my planet. What's the word? Orbiting my planet. So at least I have that masculine energy. And Valentine's Day is coming up. We might canoodle and, we both like to roller skate. No, don't make excuses. Do not get attached. It's like saying, I'm just going to shoot up one time. No, you're not, girl. You're going to be a full-on crack addict. Okay. You can't just one time. You can't smoke one blunt. Girl, bye. Leave. You are not ready for that. Leave him alone if he is not aligned with you. And if he tells you that, God bless him. Thank you, sir. You just saved me 8 months of heartache and an extra body count. Move along. Okay? That's really all I wanted to say. She said I can't breathe. Comment the word share if you're going to share this with a friend. You better share this with a friend. And it's going to take a second because I'm posting it to YouTube. But comment the word share. If you promise me, pinky promise, we're girlfriends. Pinky promise me. I'm going to count how many shares there are on the comments. And then I'm going to check my number of views. And there better not be like 2 views. And then 25 of you said they're going to share. Don't be stingy. If you guys are generous with your shares, I'll be generous with spilling the tea. Because I told you I admitted last year, the year before, I was a little stingy with more information. Okay? But I have an abundance mindset like I want you to have. All right, I got 15 minutes before my call, so let me jump in here. Jessica says, do you take feedback requests? I've experienced very interesting thing that happened and have been trying to figure out what happened. And I can't put my finger on it. Feedback requests. I'm not sure exactly what that means. So please tell me what you mean by feedback requests if I take them. Peace Chicago Dream 227. She said, can I record these live streams? You don't have to, because I post them on YouTube where you can pause, fast forward, rewind, jump to the different timestamps. I do all that for you. Okay. So just give me 5 minutes or so, and then I will post the link to YouTube in my story, and then you can go back and share with a friend. But if you said share, I'm gonna hold you to it. Okay. Here's one other question, and I really gotta go because then I gotta hurry up and post that before my call. What if he calls you a couple times and then falls asleep on the phone a couple times? Then he says he'll call you the next day, but you don't hear from him for days. He's still set up a date to see you in the future, but doesn't engage much leading into it. Remember my tip. If it's gray, walk away. You will not need to be searching for Blue's Clues. You will not be phoning a friend. You will not be DMing Yonci, although you're allowed to if you're on Patreon. You won't have to. That's a good sign. So I would be very, very, very cautious because he is going to be consistent. I need to know how to add my pic to your database. Just email me, but DM me, and I'll give you my email. Just DM me, and you could send me an email, and that's where the photo is. Where can I find the conflict avoidant video from earlier? It's on there. It's on YouTube now. It's called Hate Conflict, How to Handle It Without Feeling Overwhelmed. It's on YouTube, and I posted the link in my story. What other question? YouTube. Oh, yeah, sorry. YouTube is the same name as here. My channel is Chasing Yonci. Just type that in. Thank you, everyone who said share. Meaning I tell you what happened with someone I was dating and you give your thoughts on what happened. So normally I would take that in a live stream, but since I'm running out of time, I can't. If you just want to do a one-on-one, I do have coaching sessions. You are more than welcome to book a coaching session. That is linked in my bio, and I do that all the time. I give people feedback. Okay. All right, let me hurry up and let me post this on YouTube. And this one is going to be, if you're looking for the details of it, I'm going to call this one, what I put here, Unlock Your Power, 3 Dating Tips for Women. Okay? All right, ladies, it's been so much fun. BGP tribe in the house. Comment BGP once you see this on YouTube.